So parents, this is a summary of what we would have discussed early in the video. Now we would have learned about growth and development. We know that growth is from the outward appearance where the child will increase in size, height, weight, and weight. We talk about a development where, for example, I give you the child would start with cooing and babbling, and then the child would move on to a single word like mama or dada, and then the child will increase in their language development. We also discuss about growth spurts where during this time the children's body is using so much of energy for growing and they tend to get tired. You find small children will get tired fast. You find them getting hungry too as well. And when you don't assist them and give them the attention right away, they would show tantrum, they would cry because they're fussy, and sometimes we would say they're miserable. Sometimes we use that term, but this is where the child would need more food, the child would need rest, and when the child don't receive it at the same time, these are the expression that happens and they give out. Now, we have to know how we approaching them. We have to know that it's not their fault. This is part of growing. So we have to ensure that they're fed on time. We have to ensure that they get their rest on time. That's why it's so important that we work with time. And further down in the study, I will show you the importance of timing. It's vital. It's the most important thing is when you work with time. So we also talk about a child will go through the same process of growth and development, but at their own pace. So we know that they have to go through the development, but some children go through it at their own pace. Now, this is the part where we as adults should not compare our children because we might have an older child who would have done his or her work faster, and our second child cannot meet up to the fastness of what our first child would have how our first child would have developed. So we can compare them, but we know the end result will be that the child will develop. But sometimes our children, they develop at their own pace. So it's important that when you have your child, and you must not compare your child with any other children, because Mary's son might walk faster than Jane's son, but at the end of it, both child still have to go through the process of development, and the child still will meet the milestone, but one of them will take it more, one of them will take the time, and the other will do it as fast. You know, sometimes long ago they would say, oh, this child is doing his work so fast, like another one is coming. You know, we normally would say that, but children are like that. Some will do their work fast and some will not. Some will take their time and gradually do it, but we should not be annoyed about it. We should not be discouraged, because as we learning today that children have to go through the same development, but they take their own pace in doing it. So be encouraged. If you see a child is slow and one is fast, don't feel discouraged and don't discourage a child. Just encourage a child. Keep working with a child. And let me tell you, that child will do this. That child will become just as what a child came into this world to be. You know, the child needs your love, your grace, and the child needs you to help him or her, right? So don't compare. We know that parents love to compare their children. It's like a habit, you know? It's like a habit. We always want to compare our children with our neighbors' children. So we can't do that. And don't feel bad if your child is not as smart or bright as another child. No, don't do that, because your child might not acquire the same amount of knowledge and skills like that child, but eventually with you working with your child, that child will meet to that point. You just have to work with your child to the pace that your child can work, okay? So keep it in mind, okay? Keep this in mind. This is very important. Never compare your children. Never compare them, and never compare them with other people's children either. Your child is unique and special, and your child will grow and develop into the person that God sent them on earth to be. They just need your guidance, and they need you to be educated to know how to help them to meet that milestone. All right? So 0 to 8 years old. Keep that in mind, because I really want you to write it down, write this information down, because it will help you and it will help your child. From 0 to 8 years old, it's a critical time for our children. And as parents, we have to safeguard them, safeguard what they see, safeguard what they hear, safeguard where you take them, who they are around, the influence that person have on them. All of these things we have to ensure we as parents put these things into practice and ensure our children are safe and protected every day, right? So we went through all of these information today. So it's going to be short. There's 10 questions that I would place in the group so that you can answer these questions. This question is just to ensure that you understand the first lesson. Do your homework, submit your homework. So I want you to take it like if it's a classroom and you're there and you have to listen to your teacher and you have to obey what your teacher says, so at the end you can get great results. So if you see it like that and you do it like that, your end results will be excellent, because at the end of the day, I want you to take the knowledge that you receive and put it into practice. Okay? So this brings us to the end of today's lesson, and you will get more information.